Minecrafters, and welcome to Finish It Friday, episode 175. The first thing you're going to notice is that I do have different colors cut. I was off on Thursday. I had driven home from Iowa Wednesday night, and then yesterday I had doctor's appointments. So I thought I'd play around with my idea I was thinking of for today, and I didn't like the results. I'll show you those after a bit. But this is why there's the color change, and this is also going to work for Valentine's Day for my husband. Okay, so we still have our three pieces here. There are 2 1/16 by 1. We have our 2 1 by 1 squares, and we have our 2 by 2 1/16. All right, let's grab out the Stampin' Positioner. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up in that corner. Let me show you. So here's the two little sprockets that hold onto the paper. You see how there's that little triangle up there, right here? So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to place your card in between those two. Let me do it upside down. And locking to that. And then put down your magnets. Now, I have the 2 magnets that came with the Stampin' Positioner, but I also have 2 from We Are Memory Keepers small magnetic glass mat that I've had for a long time. All right, so let's go ahead. Is this the way it opens? Yes. So let's go ahead. We're going to be using, let me show it to you, the Layers of Beauty. So let's go ahead and let's lay it the right way. Since this is the opening way, it's going to open as a mountain fold. I think I'll move this one maybe up here so I get more coverage with this. So yes, so I'm looking at it. This is how it's actually going to open. All right, but because of the angle, it's going to be a little bit upside down-ish. Okay, so let's put our positioner on. Let's go down and pick that up. Okay, even if this moves a little, you'll just make sure that it's back in there. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to stamp this first. It's upside down. Remember that from the first video. We're going to stamp with crumb cake. So let's go ahead. We're going to stamp on it in crumb cake. We're going to do it fairly lightly. We don't want it too terribly dark, but we want to be able to see the full outline. And I'm not really pressing hard, as you can see. I'm just massaging that. All right. It's a little light now, but that's all right. Let's do one more inking, just to be sure. I want it to show up, but I don't want it to show up really like in your face. Wah. You'll see why in a second. All right, so let's go ahead again. Make sure that's all in position, and it is. Nothing's moved. We're going to go down. This time maybe I'm just going to do a little bit of a finger press. You notice I'm not putting my whole hand into it like that. You don't need to. There, that looks a lot better. Let me bring it up because of the sunlight. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it. So it's going to open that way. So that looks good. Now I am going to remove this for a second. I'm going to go ahead and stamp on my background paper just so I can get an idea of where my stamp lays on the card. Oops. Stampin' Up symbol goes down to the bottom. Press down. All right. And I can kind of see where it is. And I'm actually going to kind of turn this upside down. All right, I'm going to I think I'm going to do it again. I want it to be a little bit darker. I could go to pecan pie, and that probably would be better. But let's just go ahead and do it like this now. All right, There, I can see it a little bit better. Because what I'm going to do now is I am going to lay these, and I'm going to keep this as my reference over here. I'm going to lay these down one by one where I think I want to stamp them. So I want this rose, and you know what? Maybe what I should do, should have done that first, is draw that outline. Let me see, do I have a pencil really close by? Let's see. Do I have a pencil? All right, let me run to my desk really quick and grab a pencil. The only reason I'm grabbing a pencil is that I kind of just want to know where my card outline is. All right. So now the main one I want to be here. But I'm going to go a little off because I need to make room for all of these too. So maybe I'll put it down here like this. All right, I think I like it looking like that. I'm just doing this just spatially so I know where everything is. Now I'm going to come over here and with my gray granite, I'm going to ink up just that part that's going to hit there. So that is here. I'm upside down on this. So here's that. Let me go here. All right. And I'm just going to do it as a light. So now this was down here and this was over here. Again, you know what? Maybe I'm going to move to Memento. I think I'm going to go to Memento. I'm upside down again, remember? Oh, I have it. Let's see. That's the top. Oh, all right, you know what? I'm putting it back because it's going to just confuse me if I go upside down. All right, so I want this to be like over that bud and over that. All right, there's that. Let me come back over here to the main card because we need to be taping these down as we're doing them. So here is this bloom here. It's going to match up right there. We have this bloom here. See that upside down messed me up because now I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. All right, and then this one is over here. Do you see I have this little thing right there? All right, so now I have to do 2 straights and 1 across. All right, so I have to do it upside down. Otherwise, I'm going to be out of the picture. So here we're going to do This one's going to be the straight across, and these are going to be the two sides. All right, let's stamp that up in black again. Now, I'm just taking it as it comes. If it doesn't stamp well, I'm going to leave it that way. You could use repositional tape or your washi tape or whatever, so that way those items would be stuck down in case you need to restamp. Okay, let's bring this back over. And we can start taping these down. Okay, so I'm going to use the glue just because I want some give when I'm doing this. Oh, that's a lot of glue. Don't want a lot of glue at that edge because it'll squish out. Grab this. All right, and we want that to go just like that to match up. Let's do this one. Just smoothing out some of those edges so they don't squish out. All right, so this one, I'm looking at that little leaf there, and I'm matching it up with these right here. Oh no, there goes my little, I was going to unplug that. Why didn't I? There. All right. Just a reminder about taking my chemo pill. All right, so now here, this one is going to go up here. We're looking at right there is those lines connecting. I should have done that one a little more off. It's very straight across. Come down here. I'm looking at that flower because it's mostly that flower, but we also have this leaf over here that's matching up with that line, and this leaf down here, and that little swirl. There we go. Over here at the side, we have just the tip of that leaf, and here's that circle part. That leaf's matched up. And now our last one, which I wish I had done in the black to begin with, but I'm just going to leave it as is because that's where I'm going to put my sentiment for my husband. All right, so I'm looking here. See those big leaves there? The little daisy part here. And there you have it. So it's kind of like reverse spotlight. It is a spotlight, but it's kind of a reverse because you're actually stamping on the top layer versus covering up an area, coloring outside of the area, and leaving that white in the middle. So there we have that. Now I'm going to show you what I tried on Thursday. Tried and failed. Let me move these away. These magnets came with the stamp positioner. These, like I said, were from a small magnetic plate I got in 10 years ago at least. All right, so there's that, and we'll finish it up for my husband later. I don't want you to see his final card. But here's what I was trying to do. And I was using the Peaceful View, and it wasn't working. This one had the right concept, but I needed much lighter cards, and I should have done a different background color. And like these, because I used that gray and that steely light blue, it just kind of blended in. So these were my tries and failed. Okay, that's why I went with the line art. The line art's much easier to line up, and it just looked better. All right, let me show you my other examples. Here, I just did all of those pieces in a row down the side, embossed with that embossing folder that I love so much. What is it called? Lazy Daisy. Love that embossing folder. So that was, oops, let me get it back up in this little container. Sorry. So that was that. I embossed on the back, and then I took just designer series paper, stamped right on it. That is from Simon Says Stamps, part of a kit I had bought. Here, this is from On Display. This is a Stampin' Up! One. And here's your long and skinnies. Here's your 2 squares, and there's your middle one. I cut out the extra die. This is that shelf unit from the On Display bundle. So there's that one. All right, guys, thanks for sticking with me through the video. I'm going to be working on that technique because I want to perfect when you have a more solid item, how you can do it. But then again, remember, this was a clear mount, so it's that red rubber, so it doesn't work as well, in my opinion, in the Stampin' Positioner. We are phasing out those red rubber, but it worked great in the Stamparatus. But I didn't want to show you using the Stamparatus because you can't get it anymore. So anyway, thanks guys. Sorry I rambled on. Have a great Friday. If you're suspicious, don't go outside in case a cat goes across your path. Anyway, have a great Friday. We'll talk to you later. Bye for now.